So with the window cleaning business package, Justin, how many windows do you think there are in the world?
More than I can count. I'm
Oh.
sure in excess of 1 billion.
Oh yeah, I mean, no, probably in excess of trillions.
That's true.
I don't know, it's probably bigger than trillions. It's huge. Every single building has windows, except maybe prisons somewhere. I guess maybe they don't have windows. They probably even have a few windows. But every home requires their windows cleaned. Every business requires their windows cleaned. I know that there's a lot of things, especially starting off in business, there's a lot of things that sometimes you just kind of got to bootstrap and you kind of got to do yourself because you don't have the money to hire somebody to do it. But let me tell you, as somebody that has bootstrapped startups on very, very thin margins, I have never, ever gone up to the second story of my building and cleaned my own windows because I don't know how to do that, and I really like not dying from an accident of falling off of something. But I don't have the equipment to do it. I don't think anybody does.
Yeah, I mean, you need an extension ladder. There's a lot of components to doing it that I think prove impractical for someone to self-perform it. And
Absolutely.
It's one of those things that, like anything, even though it seems simple enough, there is a method that produces the best possible outcome. And hiring a service that has consistently performed this and knows exactly how to touch the glass and exactly how to clean it and exactly how to polish it, that produces that final product that makes a business more attractive. It makes a house have better curb appeal, and it makes everybody inside happier because they get that natural light, they get that beautiful translucence, and they don't have to see smudges and mess that make things feel cloudy and cluttered and dirty.
Yeah, well, and there's a lot of businesses that car dealerships or stuff like that, they take that big window chalk and they write on the window. So those businesses, if you don't clean it right, if you don't clean it professionally, you're going to get smudges and cloudiness on the glass. It's just really, really unattractive. Like you said, not only from customer standpoint, but also from an employee standpoint. I mean, who likes going to work at a place with gross windows? I don't think anybody does. So everybody needs their windows cleaned. Not many people remember to call and book an appointment, but I know, there's been people that, and coupled with the startup series to tell you how to really professionally get your business off the ground. This is just a slam dunk business package as far as pretty rapidly building up a customer base, in my opinion, because, somebody professionally dressed with the ability to just log on, pick a package on their website, click, I subscribe, I'll get my windows cleaned monthly, bi-monthly, however often I need them cleaned, depending on my location and how often it rains and, other factors like that, dusty roads, stuff like that. But I can go on, pick my frequency on the website, pick my frequency, subscribe to it. The business owner of the window cleaning business package gets an automatic deposit from me every month. And then I'm on autopilot. I never have to worry about calling to book an appointment to have my windows cleaned ever again.
Oh, that's huge. It takes a critical form of maintenance off of the radar, off of the property owner, business owner's plate. And the other thing is, I know that this is a type of service where a lot of the folks that are doing it presently don't necessarily have the best systems to communicate with customers to book those appointments. It's a lot of calls, messages, return calls, and probably a fair amount of business is lost in all of that.
Yeah, not to mention billing time. I mean, going home and producing invoices for every customer, collecting a check, writing a receipt, all this stuff that, here is so easy with the Ready to Launch business package. Just automate the whole thing. Talk about a way that you can really quickly scale your business instead of, you can either take the time in the evening that you would be using to invoice and do books and communicate with customers and book appointments, because all that's automated now. That's going to happen automatically on your website without the customer even talking to anybody from your organization. So the time that you would otherwise spend doing that, maybe you have a family and you want to spend the time with your family. Maybe you're, a single person with no family and you want to, spend that time booking more appointments to make more money. You can do that too. So it's a, win-win for everybody. Win for the customer, because I like services that I can go on and just order. And, even if it's a cold call, right? You have somebody pull up and say, hey, here's our website. All you have to do is go on and subscribe. Now you've left that person with a business card or a flyer or a postcard or something like that. And now I can get that as the business owner. I can get that message and I can go on and set it up without having to do a bunch of callbacks and all that kind of stuff. It's really convenient.
Absolutely. And there's huge opportunity for new business, even when there's an established service already who does the window cleaning, because so few of them have these systems in place that business owner has to call and rebook this every single time.
Very inconvenient.
And so, yeah, so if they can go to this, I mean, that flyer is going to turn into business.
Yeah. Well, and I know too, you know, I've been in positions where we go into the office and you look at the windows and you go, gosh, I got to call a window guy. And then you sit down and you start working, and, you know, within 30 seconds of your being at your desk, that thought is gone. And the next time you think of it is the next morning when you get back to the office and you look at the windows and you go, gosh, I really got to call a window cleaning company. And it just, you never get around to doing it until it looks pretty bad from my experience. That's kind of when most people call the window person, is when it looks like it should have been done a while ago.
And like a lot of these services, being a repeat service means you're going to gain familiarity with the location, and each time you do it, you're going to be more efficient, which means you're going to have a little more profit, a little bit more free time, and free up to get more accounts and continue to scale up operations.
Now, you've worked under our business methodology. Tell me how our way of doing things has impacted your life.
Well, it's improved my life in many different ways. I've learned to, operate in business more efficiently, more strategically, with a greater focus on win-win outcomes, where the business is profiting, but the, clients and customers are happy. So it's been a very enriching process, and I've learned a lot from you guys. You guys have that entrepreneurial spirit that just makes for good business. And so it's been just an absolute pleasure working with you guys. And
now, what about financially? How would you say your situation is different?
Well, it's been enormously personally rewarding, financially rewarding. We've been able to do things we never imagined being able to do just a few years before. Your unique approach to business has enabled us to, be more profitable than our competitors. We've had a better work-life balance, I think, than most people who, even get close to approaching our income threshold. So I think really, as rewarding as something could be, it has been for us.
Now, do you feel like our way of doing things has profitability advantages over traditional ways of doing business?
Oh, most certainly. Yeah. I think you can, tell just by our history of growth. I think are willing to adapt our business strategies, fill any niche role that's out there, and just, capitalize on things that other businesses aren't even aware of. So, yeah, I think we, have had a much greater level of success than our competitors, with more profitability and oftentimes less busy work.
Yeah, certainly. And I think too, with the startup series goes over all sorts of that kind of stuff. And just the ways that we've been luckily forced to adapt and learn how to do things with less staff and, more technology based or more efficiency based, just really picking things apart down to the typing of emails or not. Stuff like that makes a huge difference, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. Breaking things down to their kind of constituent components, seeing what you absolutely have to have, what's not necessary, and then putting your energy behind what drives, maximum productivity and profitability. And I think that's been where we've had a lot of our success.
Now, Justin, what would you say to someone who is thinking about buying one of these business packages, but is maybe nervous about starting a business from scratch instead of going with a more expensive traditional franchise, or maybe nervous about something else with starting a business?
Well, I would say that, now is a very good time, I think, for someone to look at starting their own business. And I think, when you're weighing these options, say in comparison to a more expensive franchise, I think the flexibility that's afforded, because you still own and have control of your own business, I think that's huge. I think that's why a lot of people start a business. They don't want to have to report to someone and curtail their goal and operations based on the direction of somebody else. So I think you get all of those benefits. But I think the other thing that's, a major advantage is that it is lower cost. You're not paying a percentage of your income for an indefinite period. You just have the ability to take a proven model, to adapt it to your specific situation, to be given all the tools to implement your strategy and your goals, and to achieve it. And I think that's huge.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. As an entrepreneur myself, obviously, that started several businesses, when I look back over what worked really well and what did not work really well, it's the unknowns that are waiting out there to just, grab you by the foot and trip you up. And that's really what I think makes businesses fail. I think there's probably two major things that make businesses fail. Number one is not knowing a system and process that's proven for success, which it takes a while to get there. And then number two is just these pitfalls that every single entrepreneur will face at some point in time or another. And having the startup series as a guide to continually reference back to me, makes all the difference in the world compared to somebody that does not have that resource. And business consultants are really, really, really expensive. It's a good way to, especially when you're in the startup phases, that's a good way to really drain profitability, is having to call somebody and pay them by the hour every time you have a question, rather than just referencing a resource that you've got on your computer.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, you're getting basically a veteran business model that works.
Yeah.
And you're able to use that from the get-go. So, I mean, it's like, taking the Microsoft model when you're starting a software company. It's as good a start as you could have.
Well, Justin, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you joining me here and going over these business packages. And, for you guys there thinking about this, you can submit on our website or you can give us a call at 844-500-6620 and speak with a business launching consultant. Again, that's 844-500-6620. Thanks so much.